Hey guys, and welcome to the all-new, all-different rebirthcast. Well, today we're going to talk about something a little different than the new comics that come out. I didn't talk about the last one, but I really want to talk about this. Something I want to talk about is about somebody who passed away recently. Yeah, that was a couple months ago, but I wasn't sure. I saw this thing on Facebook. I was thinking about it, and I wasn't sure because when you see something, it's not 100%. You can't trust everything you read, so it could have been just fake. It's weird that you would say that about that. Something, unless you're a comic book fan, you probably don't know. A lot of people probably don't know who Steve Dillon is. He's an artist. He's done stuff more with DC. He's probably done indie stuff, not counting Vertigo, because Vertigo is considered DC, or Max Comics is considered basically by Marvel and DC. Those. He passed away on October the 22nd, and it's kind of like one of those things that I want to talk about because I want to do a video about it, because him being one of my favorite artists in comic books is kind of definitely I wanted to do this to talk about his work and why I like this stuff so much, and some of the books you should go check out. And memory of him, I think you should go read some of the stuff. Go read the stuff he read, because it's great, and it's one of those things that his work is amazing and people should be reading it. And some of these comics, well, a couple of them, or unless you know, you might not even know of, or never heard of, and it gives those characters and the companies more, and these characters more interest and stuff all around. It'd be good to talk about it. To my knowledge, we're going to go in order the stuff I've read of his, the stuff he's done. I'll do it in order of what came out first of his that I've read, and kind of in an order. So we're going to start today. This is awesome, and let's dig into it. We're going to start off by talking about the first series that I know he did when I was reading him. I don't know if it was Hellblazer that came out first or Animal Man. So we're going to do Animal Man first, because Animal Man, my favorite comic book, came out. It was written by Grant Morrison, who did amazing. He did up to issue 50, I think. Grant Morrison wrote it. I don't know if he stopped there. No, Grant Morrison wrote it. What am I thinking? He stopped at issue 25 or something. Then after that story arc, the next story arc came out. I think the story arc, the next one, he did some stuff around there when he started. After Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man, he kind of became the artist for the book, to my knowledge. He became the artist for the book. Not every issue. There were certain issues that didn't for a little bit until around issue, I think, 50. Because after issue 50, he stopped being the artist. But anyway, one of the books that I like, and I think we like good, and this Steve Dillon's artwork works with something like Animal Man, how really the mature comics. Not because he's really good at drawing. I don't know. It's just artwork. Most of the books he's done are more mature books. Even though Animal Man, when the stuff he did wasn't considered, it didn't say mature readers on it. Some of the other comics that were out by DC, it was a mature book. They had they had violence in it. It's really violent stuff in there. Some really dark things, some more stuff that you wouldn't think of in a book that wouldn't be for kids. One of the books I wouldn't, Animal Man, one of the books I would not recommend for younger people for this video to read. It's one of the comics I wouldn't recommend for really young people, because it is mature, and I would say you have to be. I would say I don't know, when it comes to maturity, I would say you have to be I don't know. It depends on different for different people, because some people might be more read more. You might be younger, but you might read a lot of mature stuff like that, or you're okay with mature stuff, or your parents are okay with it. Whatever. It's really depending on if you're old enough. Then once you get to some point, you can read basically anything, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, that's one of my favorite books that's ever been released, and have him being one of my favorite artists working on one of my favorite books is something I really am happy for. That because when I first reading Animal Man, most of the early stuff I read was his work, and it was really good, and I really enjoyed his work in Animal Man, and it was really cool and fun to read and enjoy, and it's fun. This book is fun. I would recommend go reading it. It's definitely different. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much. And if you didn't know, I'm one of my favorite characters. So I had one of my favorite writers work on one of my favorite books with the writer, one of my favorite writers, Grant Morrison. Because I just like his stuff. Grant Morrison, I think he's a really good writer. And yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, Animal Man. Now we're gonna jump to Hellblazer next, because I just got the John Constantine Hellblazer Volume 7, what's called Tainted Love. This particular volume I wanted to get this. I went to a Barnes & Noble, I had this. I wanted to look if they had the Steve Dillon one of Hellblazer, because I know they had a bunch. And they did. They had this one, Tainted Love. This entire book is written by Garth Ennis and drawn by Steve Dillon. All the issues in here This contains issues 62 through 71, all drawn by Steve Dillon, was awesome, and the Hellblazer special was also drawn and written by the one-shot special Hellblazer book that came out. It was also drawn by Steve Dillon. So this is a cool book. It's all Steve Dillon's artwork in like a book, other than the covers, mind you, because the covers. I don't know if the covers have ever been his artwork. I don't know if he's ever done. He's done artwork for a cover. I feel like I've never seen his artwork on covers before. It's usually something different. So I don't know. That's something I just realized. I just noticed you don't see his artwork on covers. But also the guy who does the cover for this, I think, does also the covers. Eventually goes on and does the cover for Preacher, so he kind of has a similar. But he has the same cover artist as well. That's actually kind of cool if that is the case, because they do some of them look like something like the same style as the Preacher covers that I've seen them. So yeah, this book, General Constantine, is about a guy who does, I wouldn't say magic, he has magic powers, or knows like tricks and all the magical kind of thing. It's a really good book. It's one of my favorite books in DC Comics. This probably comes next to After I Know Man. It's Hellblazer. That's one of my favorite books, and to get this was cool. To get most of his run of the stuff when he did it, his run. I know there was a couple issues he's done before this, and I got him in the volume 6, had a couple issues he run, a couple that I already read. Then there was another one after this one, with number 8, has some more of his run, but that one I didn't get because I had enough of those comics in it officially. I didn't want to I'd rather get one that I have a lot I have not read, and then if it has one or two I've read, I can just reread it, because I don't mind rereading this, any Hellblazer stuff, because I like Hellblazer, and this is going to be fun to read, because most of this book, other than 2 issues, I haven't read really. So most of this book has not been read, but I know he went, after he finished this run of his run on Hellblazer for this point, I know he came back and did other issues later on in the series, like one-shot issues, like story issues or something, or done some little 2-parts or something. So he has came back and done stuff for the series. So he didn't abandon it. He did Hellblazer again. But that's cool, because his artwork does work with Hellblazer. It's really cool, and Hellblazer works for the series. And his art works for Hellblazer. His art works with all these books he's doing, so it just fits for some reason. Don't know why it works so well, but it does. And this guy, I say, is awesome. Next we move on we're going to do Preacher. That's the next book I know he worked on. If there's any books he worked on that I'm not mentioning, you're probably like, why didn't you mention this book? I'm only doing off the stuff I know he's done. I'm not going to look up his work and be like, oh, he did this. If it's something I've never read, I don't really care much for, I'm not going to talk about. I want to talk about such books that I like, that he's worked on that I like. Next, we're going to go into Preacher, because that's the next one I think of that came in with the line of work that I know of. Preacher is an original series written by him, drawn by him, and created by Chris Ennis and Steve Dillon. They get credited for it. If you watch the show, they're both credited for it. So they both kind of created it. They did every issue, to my knowledge. They drew and wrote every issue. Chris Ennis and Steve Dillon, they did every issue together. Except for some of the spin-off issues, I know had a different artist for those, but that's totally fine. Spin-offs, there was a miniseries based on the same killer and stuff. Some of that stuff. Stuff that was about Preacher, but it was its own thing. They were more Chris Ennis was still a part of those, but I think Steve Dillon wasn't. They were different artists. But it makes sense for miniseries, and if you want to do other things, other stuff with the characters, you want to have different artists, that's totally fine. But I like Steve Dillon's artwork in Preacher. It's not a book that fits so well. With Cassidy, the vampire who's one of the best characters in the series. Yes, there's a vampire in the series. His name is Cassidy. He's cool. Then we got the Preacher, Jesse Custer, Tulip. I'm trying to think of other characters in the series. There's a bunch of other ones, like the guy at the meat packing plant who has sex with a giant thing of meat in the comics. Yeah, and the show didn't do it justice. He was screwed up in the place in the show. A lot of people were screwed up in the show, but the comics, let's say, they were worse. And stuff that you probably can not show on TV. Maybe not even an R-rated movie. Some of that stuff was I don't know if I could even want to, if that's even stuff you can show in an R-rated movie. That's kind of really weird. Or I don't know, him having sex with a bunch of meat, he put them together to make a girl or something. It's just really I just read that, but it's that's one thing I like about it. It's kind of really going all out there. It's other comics, definitely Hellblazer and stuff, and anime. Sometimes a lot of these books go out and do the really dark things, or these really weird things, the really things that you would not expect. So when you read them, it's oh, I just read that. Um, that's something I just read. That's kind of the feeling I get with a lot of their works. Good, and Steve Dillon both have that side, and also the characters. Just sometimes the characters, like Preacher, just in general, that whole series. Even if but like Hellblazer, the whole series, I've gotten that multiple times by different writers in Hellblazer, just in general, because the book is like. Same with anime and other books, I've gotten that. Like Grant Morrison, the writer who does that, has that feel to it. Good side is not all of his works are like that, but some of it's great. So that's Preacher. I would say Hellblazer. That was Preacher. Now we're going to move on to excuse me there. We're gonna move on to stuff he did at Marvel, because that's the next stuff I know he worked on. He worked on Punisher Max. Now I know he did some Punisher stuff before then, and it's great. He did some Punisher stuff before then. I think it was part of the Marvel at Night era of stuff. I know he drew Punisher then. It's actually done some stuff then. It's cool. I liked it. I've read it. It's cool. It's Punisher. It's another book. He's really good. It's just the guy going around shooting people. I mean, there's not much to it, but it's really cool. It's fun. It was fun. The stuff he did in that. He's done stuff with Punisher. It's weird because Punisher is one of the books I feel like he's gone back to and done it like multiple times. I feel like I want to see it. He's always gone back to. I think it's Constantine. I think it was when it was by Vertigo. He went back to it, but now I think he's was kind of more a. Now I think he's more stuck. He was stuck with Marvel recently, like his newest stuff. I think was Marvel. He did stuff for Marvel, so it's great. Punisher, like I said, he did some stuff from the Marvel Night era Punisher, whatever series that was. I think it was called just the Punisher. And then I know he did Punisher. The Punisher Max series was great, but then after there was a series called The Punisher by Max Comics, and then. And a lot of people call it Punisher Max. It's just called really The Punisher. And then they did a series called Punisher Max, and that one is drawn by Steve Dillon. I don't know if he did all of them. I have only one issue for that, but I knew he drew like the first story arc and stuff. It's cool. It's another good book that I really enjoyed the story. But I mean, I only read one issue, but it was good. It felt like Punisher, Punisher being Punisher, and Punisher going around, being Punisher. She's going around shooting people. That's basically what the book is. It's going around shooting people. But a lot of people are like, it's more than that. Yeah, it is, and that's why to take a character is very simple, and it's just a guy who goes around and shoot people and make the artwork interesting, and also these books all these books are like parental advisory comics. Like Punisher has always been a parental advisory, even if the early Punisher comics, were not rated like for mature audiences. I've seen issues that are pretty mature, so they can be pretty mature. That was not the point. I know it's Mac stuff because it's by Mac Comics, and everything by Mac Comics was mature. So that Punisher Mac comic was mature, and it was fun. It's another fun series. Next, when it comes to Punisher stuff he did was, I think, actually the newest one. I don't know if he did anything other ones. He might have done some because there's always Punisher one-shots, miniseries, all kinds of stuff. So he could have done some more. But the next series he's done is the one now. I'm trying to think if he's done anything else. I'm trying to think of other works he's done because I want to try to mention as much as I can. I also know he did a series called It's from the Ultimate Universe. It's called The New Ultimates 2 or something, where it has like Blade the Vampire Hunter in it, and like has Omega turn into a zombie or something. Not a zombie, a vampire and stuff. He drew an issue of that, and I'm assuming he drew that series. It's cool, not a series, cool. That's the only other thing that I can think of. What he did, because his artwork, I'm like, he feels like he's not doing a lot of books. Like certain artists might have multiple books they do. I don't know, they've done a lot of different things. With him, it feels like he sticks with the series for a little bit. And that's all he does. Like I think most artists don't they just do one book, unless they're also a writer like Jeff Lemire who's written and drawn stuff. So now I think we're just gonna move on to the new book he did, The Punisher. It's called The Punisher because it's either just Punisher or The Punisher really. And if you open it up, it's called The Punisher. This came out. This is the last issue that he I think maybe did anything on. I don't know until I read some of the other ones after this. I think this last issue he did stuff on. You can tell some of this stuff was not. He didn't draw this entire book. It's by him. Steve Dillon worked on this book. Also, Matt Hoek. His artwork's cool because his artwork kind of has some Steve Dillon-esque feels to it, and some of the characters and the way he looks. So I do like his artwork. It fits Punisher wise. It's a good follow-up to Steve Dillon. It's not Steve Dillon's artwork, but it works really well. Now, I'm tired. Sorry, guys. I'm a little tired for this point. It's a little on the later side. What I want to say about the series is he's done up to issue. He did the first 6 issues completely. He did those. And then issue 7, he's done part of that. I don't know if he did anything with any of the other ones, covers, anything. I don't know. But I think this series is worth checking out. A lot of people are like, "What do you do? It's not growing anymore. I shouldn't be. Should I read it? Because he's not." It's first of all, a comic. It's kind of like if the story's good, you should be reading it. If the story's good and you like it, I think the art can be sometimes subjective where you don't need to have good art to have a good story can work just by itself, even if the art's not that good. Or the same, I think sometimes the art is a little more harder with we have art but not a good story because I feel like that's a lot harder. But if the art's really good, sometimes I can kind of be like, the art's really good, like it's really good, like it's fucking good as shit. And okay, because most of the stuff I'm talking about is mature stuff anyway, so fuck it, right? And this is something I want to talk about. So this is the last issue he actually did. I think anything on, I don't know what the other issues have anything, if they did any covers, any other stuff. I've seen some of the covers, and I feel like one of them might have a Steve Dillon cover. I thought I saw some of the covers for this series, like some of the later on covers, and it looked like they had some Steve Dillon stuff. Maybe. It'd be cool if they did like a special cover. A cover where one that he did, or something he drew of the Punisher that would work for a cover. It'd be cool to have him on the cover of a Punisher issue, but the series is great. It's Punisher being Punisher, like I said, taking the bad guys, doing stuff. I thought I was gonna have more to say because getting to where I've said mostly everything, and it hasn't been that long. I gotta try to make this 20 minutes because I want to make this at least 20 minutes of the podcast. And this is gonna be, like I said, really short. And I know these podcasts are like, oh, you record for an hour. This is one I feel like unless I had somebody else or knew more about some of his other works, I could talk more about it. This new series, I would just read it up to. I read the whole series, just the series that's out now, Punisher comic. Read all the stuff he did, and then continue reading it because it's good. If you like Punisher, check it out. It is a parental advisory series, like most of his works, so that he did. So you should bear warning. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see if he does anything else on the book. And yeah. That being said, this is basically all I really wanted to talk about because I wanted to talk about some of his works and saying you should go check out these books. You should go check out all of his Punisher stuff he's done, Hellblazer, Arrowman, and Preacher. Those are the 4 books I know of that he did really well. I also said that Ultimate book he did was cool, but these are the 4 you should get. The Hellblazer stuff he's done with Hellblazer, any of his Hellblazer issues, his Punisher stuff, his Arrowman, and his work on Preacher. Those are all those works he's done up to this point that you should read. You should read all that stuff. All that stuff he did with those to help. Because it's kind of like one of those things that these books are cool and he's left. He left, and after looking, I was looking at a picture of him. He looked kind of old. I was like, he looked kind of old. Because it was him and Chris Ennis like standing together. And I was like, oh, he looks. Oh, that guy must be Chris Ennis. Because Chris Ennis, for some reason, I think Chris Ennis is old. But like, because I was like, oh, that's Chris Ennis. Because for some reason, I think Chris Ennis is old. I don't know why. I don't know the age of these guys. So maybe I was like, oh, that's Chris Ennis for some reason. No, it's Steve Dillon. I'm like, oh, and so the age. He was like. Okay, he seems like that. That seems like looks a little older for that. Yeah, so probably I don't know what the deal is when it comes to medical wise, like how he died, how fast we didn't say in the comic. And you don't need to know. You just need to know that a great artist has passed away, and he will be missed in this era of comic books. He'll be missed. It would have been cool to see what he did with Punisher and what other stuff he did, but. He at least has stuff we can remember him by. His great work. So I hope you guys all go out, check out his stuff, and this podcast is going to be over. I want to do this to dedicate to Steve Dillon. You were one of the greatest writers. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stumbling here. Steve Dillon, you're one of the greatest artists in comic book history, in my opinion. You are rock. Hope everything for your family or whatever it goes great, and this is all I have to say. I just wanted to talk about some of the comics he did and show my support. I'm only gonna do this with people who I actually know in comic books. Like, oh, somebody dies and I don't know anything they've done. Like, okay, I can't really do much. Like, if Stan Lee died, I'll do something about that. Or like Grant Morrison and Jeff Lemire, Marco Wade, who I don't think those two are gonna die soon because I especially this from you, but. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody important who I like that, I'm gonna talk about it. And Steve Dillon was one of those people. So. That's it for this video, and there are some parts where I'm pausing because it's kind of sad to know that Steve Dillon is gone. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And that's this for this video, this podcast, to talk about my favorite artist, one of my favorite artists, Steve Dillon. Definitely you rock, man. Wherever you are. So I'm kind of rambling now, so we need to just end this. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. If you guys liked it, you can, like, favorite, whatever. You guys can also go check out Steve Dillon's work. Go check out, go check out Steve Dillon's work and all his books I've mentioned, and other books. If there's other books he's done, go check them out as well. And that's it for this podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys can always stay epic. And I'll see you in the next cast, guys, where we'll talk about something not as sad or not we'll probably talk about either new comics that come out, if I can get this done before I go see my friend Josh. If I go to see him, I might try and get to do one with him where we talk about movies that came out this year. But until then, guys, you can always stay epic. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye. And you rock, Steve Dillon.